This is Transformers 96 here with another video. We're going to be talking about kind of some speculations for upcoming Hot Toys figures, basically. So they did just show the majority of their Rogue One line on display at a toy event, and they had the new figures that they were shown were 2 new Shore Troopers, a hover tank pilot, Jyn Erso, Donnie Yen, Baze Malbus, and K2SO, as well as that astromech named C2B5. So they did show quite a lot of figures all at once, which was very exciting. However, there were, of course, still characters that were missing. So here's just my video talking about the possible characters that they could do, not necessarily what I think they will do, but I'll talk about what I think is most likely and things like that. So let's get started. The obvious one that was missing, that it seems to be a main character in this movie, is Cassian. Cassian Andor, I believe, is his last name. But Cassian seems to be a main character in this movie. He seems to be the secondary main character, basically, behind Jyn. So I can't imagine they won't do him. They're definitely going to do him, basically. As far as what version of him I think they'll do, they could go with that snow jacket type of look, or the classic brown jacket. I think they'll probably do what they did with Han Solo from The Force Awakens, and give you both, so that you can switch it out. But we'll have to see. I think that if they only do one, though, they'll go with the brown jacket. That seems like it's going to be more of a classic look. Although in the trailer we do see him quite a lot with that snow jacket on, but I still think that the brown jacket is going to be more of a classic look. So I definitely think that they'll do Cassian, and if they do it, I would guess that we'll get both outfits with him. The only, there is a possibility they won't, because I would have thought that they would do Poe Dameron for sure from The Force Awakens, and we never got him, so there is a possibility that we won't get Cassian. And then there's Riz Ahmed's character. I don't know his character's name actually yet, but the pilot that's on their team, they haven't shown him yet. And he would be, if they were going to skip one of the members of the team, I would guess that they would skip him. However, since they're doing Baze, and I'm sure that they'll do Cassian, it means that the only one that they haven't shown then would be Riz Ahmed. And I think that if they're going to do everybody else, they'll do him too. So I would guess that they'll do him simply to finish off the team. However, if they were going to skip a few characters from the core team, I would definitely think that he'd be one that gets skipped. And then the hover tank pilot, we obviously did just get to see the one. The bottom right there, you can see the one that is actually on display. But there is a different version of the hover tank pilot that doesn't have the gray markings. And I'm sure we'll get that because it's very simple for them to do. It's a repaint, but it's mainly just taking paint off. So I'm sure we'll get that as well. And it'll probably be exclusive or whatnot. But that's really nothing too special for me. I could care less which version of the hover tank pilot I get. I think that they both look fine. And then there's Forrest Whitaker's character. I think that I really like his look in the movie, and he's got the robot feet, and he's got a lot of armor on. I like the facial hair, and the actor himself is very cool. So a figure of him would be quite cool, but I don't see it happening. I think that I'm guessing that he's gonna have a small part in the movie where he'll be more like they accidentally kind of stumble upon him, and he's kind of living underground, and he has information, and kind of is more of an info dump for them, for the viewer. I would guess that he's gonna have a lot of exposition, but then they'll leave and he'll be done. We do see in the trailer when he says save the dream. The room around him seems to be shaking, so I wouldn't be surprised if the place just ends up collapsing and he dies. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think he's gonna have a huge role in the movie, so I doubt we'll get a Hot Toys figure of him at all. I would guess we'll get a Black Series one though, but we haven't seen anything like that yet. And then there's Director Krennic. Director Krennic is a big mystery card for me. I personally don't know if they're going to do him. I think that there is reason for them to do him, because considering he is the main villain of this movie, Darth Vader is just going to have a few cameo roles, all of which being with Director Krennic, and then obviously the troopers are just troopers. So I think that he is he's definitely the main villain of the movie, and I think that Hot Toys will recognize that and think that it would be good to give a figure of him, especially since it promotes buying some of their other products. Because if you get Krennic, you're gonna want some troopers behind him, and most likely you're gonna want two of the same troopers behind him. So I think that it would be relatively smart for them to produce this figure, being that you can. It might boost their trooper sales slightly. So I would certainly love for them to do him. I'm a big villain fan. I'm very excited for Krennic, and I would love a figure of him. I think that his suit is very cool, and his big white cape just looks awesome as well. So I would definitely guess that we'll get a Director Krennic, or I wouldn't guess that I would definitely get a Director Krennic figure. As far as whether Hot Toys is going to do him or not, I would say we have about a 45% chance that they will, and a 55% chance that they won't. That's how I break it down, to be honest, but I'm very much not sure. I think that there's slightly better chance that we won't get him, but I still think that there's a solid chance that we'll get him. I think Cassian's about a 95% chance we'll get. Riz Ahmed, I'd say it's about a 65% chance we'll get. Force Whitaker, I'd say we've got about a 20% chance, and the unpainted, or the non-gray painted hover tank trooper, I think we've got a 95% chance of getting. So there's my breakdown of the percentages of what I think Hot Toys is going to do. That's just my guess, though. And then I did talk about this specifically in the video where I talked about the Jyn Erso figure that was shown, but there is more outfits for Jyn Erso. Obviously, the one to the left we're getting, and then there's the middle one, which is kind of in her rain gear, and then there's the one of her in disguise. There is also Cassian that goes under disguise, but I don't think that we'll get that regardless of anything. I definitely don't think we're going to get that, but we might get Jyn Erso. I would guess that they'll do one of these. I don't think that they're going to do both, and I would guess that they'll do one. They'll probably do it in quite a few in quite a bit of time. Maybe when the DVD's released, they'll put it on pre-order, or maybe for May the 4th be with you. I could see them doing that. So I would guess that we'll get one of these as an exclusive using the same head sculpt. I don't think they're going to redesign the head sculpt. But yeah. As far as if I'd get it, I don't think I would. I think I'm going to stick with the regular one. The only way that I would buy it, or at least be tempted, is if they did redesign the head sculpt and the head sculpt was perfect, because I do have issues with the one that they have shown at the moment. So if they get the head sculpt perfect, I think that would be great. But if not, then I wouldn't be interested in either of those, I don't think. But there you go. That's my my guesses and just kind of my breakdown of what Hot Toys could do as far as with the rest of the Rogue One Hot Toys line. So let me know which figures you'd love to see that they haven't shown already, or if I've missed any characters. I think I covered all the grounds. I think all the realistic grounds, basically. There are those like other two aliens that seem to pop up in some of the promotional images and in the trailers every now and then, but I seriously doubt they're going to have any sort of role in the movie. So I definitely don't think we're going to get them, but who knows. So there you go. That's my video. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.